We're kicking off 2026 in the company of one of the newest entrants to the business of pleasure, Adrien Rosza, whose musical, The Bitter Pill, will take to the stage at 21 Soho on the 21st and 22nd of January. Welcome to the Business of Pleasure podcast, Adrien, writer, producer, and creative maelstrom behind The Bitter Pill.
Wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, Adrien and I met back in October at the Green Note in Camden when Talent Bank's Ray Jones, no stranger to these podcasts, introduced us between numbers. Adrien's producing a musical. You know a bit about those, DT. You should talk. So we did. You don't argue with Mr. Jones. So tell us a bit about The Bitter Pill, Adrien, but no spoilers, okay? How did the journey start? What does the project mean to you personally?
So The Bitter Pill, the idea for it instantly hit me the second I got to London, really. I was coming from Worcester, which is pretty rural, very outside of a lot of the big action where you'd see. Compared to London, there's none of the nightlife, not as big of a queer scene. I was the only trans person I knew back at home for a while. And going to London, it sort of hit me in this amazing but overwhelming way where I was meeting so many people like me. And it was sort of where I got the idea for the Leave Your Gender at the Door tagline, because I was meeting these people and going, yeah, I'm trans, my pronouns are he, and they went, great, now what? Because I wasn't the only one anymore. And it wasn't something I had to explain, but I still had that university starting point of this is a new chance to sort of reintroduce myself to the world, especially in London where there's so many places to go, such a distinct vibe, and the kind of places I would go with my fellow pupils, because I'm in Royal Central School of Speech and Drama. It's a drama school, so when you go for nights out, the drama follows you, and you don't just party. There's an entire almost sitcom level of events that happen during any given night out. It's amazing, but it's overwhelming. And the songs I was hearing in the background, seeing all of these things, there wasn't a lot of modern music. It was a lot of more songs you'd see in the 80s and back. I still remember distinctly going to one club where Blue Monday was blasting through the speakers with these dark blue lights and all of my newfound friends around me. And I just thought this would make an amazing opening for a play. This needs to happen. And someone needs to document the queer experience where it's not just talking about coming out or the difficulty surrounding that, but what it's actually like to live in these environments and to, especially in uni, just to have that freedom, but unfiltered freedom, and to see where you draw the line, how far you can take it.
The wonderful thing about London and any major city is you can be whoever you want to be.
Exactly.
Nobody cares, which can be a bad thing in a way as well. But now you're the writer and producer of The Bitter Pill. You're wearing both hats, which must present some difficulties, especially when the script says silk, but the budget says polyester. What do you do then?
Well, especially with the show, I found necessity to be the mother of invention, because I've had so many chances to talk to people who have done different sorts of theatre outside of the classic everybody in a line box set, and talking about cabaret stylings, especially when I did the production at Camden Fringe, where we did it in the Libra Theatre Cafe. It had an amazing set of stairs that we brought the audience down with the characters. So we started upstairs, moved them down, made the show immersive to better fit that environment. And though it wasn't the plan originally, the show, it really aided the show. It was a massive help for the atmosphere, bringing everyone into that environment, then them all taking their seats literally in the world that we had set up. So all around them, there was a bar next to one member of the audience, the sofa next to another. They all got bought in on everything. And it was not something I would have considered until put in an environment where I had to think on the spot and go for it.
Talking about the audience, so both Ray and I will be there on the 21st, so no pressure there. But what do you want us, the audience, to take with us from the show? as we step back out onto those mean streets of Soho?
Well, first of all, you guys have got to be humming the songs, because I know that if I've done my job right, the songs, not just in their own right, but the way we would have sung them, the way we presented them, that would have been catchy. It was something I loved seeing in the earlier productions, watching people go out, humming the little tunes to themselves in their head. I want the show to haunt people in that way. And there is going to be an element of, what the fuck did I just watch? That was something I wasn't ready for. But that's in that Rocky Horror way, where it sits with you for a while after. It makes you think and question. But by the time you sat down, and without giving anything away, the main character both enters and exits the world of the show with the audience in that sort of immersive way. So when the character leaves at the end of the show, the audience are leaving with them. And I want there to be this sense of, though it was useful for the protagonist to be in that world, to live through these things, to leave their gender at the door and get to re-explore their identity, they can't stay put in the place where the play takes place. They can't be stuck in that world with that mindset. And so when the audience leave, they learn something about themselves, but they know that it was the right choice. And they get to sit with that and feel content with the songs they experienced, the things they saw, and move forward as more full people.
But seeing the world that they've stepped back into slightly differently because of the experience. Right. So it's the morning, or more likely the afternoon, of the 23rd of January. Your head's the venue for the battle of the century, the Bloody Marys versus the Hangover from Hell. As the mist clears, because it's got to clear eventually, even in Soho, after 2 days of the most incredible high at the very epicenter of the entertainment capital of the world, if not the universe, what then is next for the Bitter Pill?
The cast and I are very eager to get to Edinburgh Fringe for August this year, if not next year. Everyone's been setting it up. Every rehearsal, we're thinking in the back of our heads, how can we keep pushing the show? Where can we keep driving it forward? And I don't see why that wouldn't be possible at this point. The journey's been such a roller coaster. I've not expected it to get to this point, because, as I said, it just started with me writing it during uni. One of my cast members even looking over my shoulder in all the coffee shops going, what's this scene about? Why are you writing this? But it's come from that point to here just in the span of a year. It's been nearly a year to the day since I first started writing the show. So if it can get this far in a year, I believe we can get it to Edinburgh Fringe and hopefully beyond.